right, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Now, exciting times as we get the new season underway, but there's a little bit of extra pressure on the team this year that hasn't been there in the past. As, you know, we're defending Constructors champions now, we've got something to fight for, to defend. Now, do we have any questions? Yeah, Chaz Hogan, Australian journalist. Now, mate, your teammate Pierre Gasly is World Drivers' Champion, obviously. So does this mean that you'll be serving as the team's second driver this season? No, not at all. We have two equal drivers in this team. I've spoken with Pierre, and he is aware of the fact that this is indeed a team sport, and that the Drivers' Championship effectively means nothing, unless I win it, of course, and then it's everything. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Aussie Villain Racing. It is the opening round of Season 4. We are Constructors Champions. Pierre Gasly is defending Drivers Champion. And, well, it's all to play for here, really, isn't it? So let's hope that we can get off to a good start. Now, just a quick refresher. We have invested a little bit of money into the factory. We're not going to see any benefits of that just yet because those changes haven't quite been completed yet. R&D-wise, we're expecting to be the top-rated team coming into this. Whether that is actually how it plays out or not, I guess time will tell when we get through free practice and whatnot. We don't have any developments we can bring to the car just yet. Hopefully when the factory upgrades, we'll have the durability and powertrain upgrade there that potentially we should be able to do. In terms of the vehicle, well, everything is brand spanking new, ready for the new season. So let's hope that it lasts for us. We are still with Mercedes as a reminder. So that is all good. The corporate side of things, we have a new primary sponsor in Xenon Dynamics this season. So we've got to earn 15 Constructors Championship points in a season. I'd hope we do that in this first round, to be completely honest with you, but we'll see how we go with that. Contracts, Gasly is back, 99 rated, 11 million he is on, and, well, he's getting expensive, isn't he? So let's hope that he's worth it. If we keep going to driver market, unfortunately, there were no driver changes this season, which is a little bit of a disappointment. We can see there's a lot of good drivers that have good focus, which is frustrating and annoying. Ideally, that wouldn't be the case, but it's going to be a very competitive. Alonso has lost focus, it would appear, but everybody else, Tsunoda maybe lost a little bit of focus. Russell appears to have lost focus as well. Lance Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Latifi, and Mazepin as well. So the guys that are towards the back of the grid, with the exception of Lundgaard, it looks like, and Guan Yu Zhou, they have lost focus. But everybody else appears to be raring to go for this season, which, as I say, is slightly frustrating and disappointing. I would have liked to have seen a few people maybe not bothered, but, you know, it's Formula One, I suppose, isn't it? We can see there Bahrain, there's the calendar and the trophies. Now, previous seasons in Bahrain, of course, last season we finished second. We probably should have won that race. Let's not revisit exactly what happened, but basically I stuffed up. Season 2, we finished 10th, and the first season, well, I was still learning the game, and we finished essentially last, or last of the finishers anyway. So there's nothing to sim ahead. That all happened last episode in our off-season special, so let's head off to Bahrain. Alright, so we can see the track map there. The weather forecast, as you would expect in the desert, is essentially going to be dry. So I'm going to go do free practice, and I will see you back for qualifying, and we'll see exactly where our car sits in this season's pecking order. Alright, so free practice is done. Gasly looks imperious. He was a second clear of the field in FP3 and a second and a half clear of me. So, yeah, let's get out there and let's see if we can get close to him. Alright, we're coming around to start our first lap in Q1. Now, while we're getting to the start-finish line here, I do need to say a big thank you to a new Patreon supporter. It's not a new Patreon supporter, but someone who's increased their pledge. So thank you, Dave Mortram. It is greatly appreciated, as I've said before. Not expected, but it is greatly appreciated. And there is a link down in the description if you enjoy the content and you are able to do something like Patreon. But if not, just keep watching the ads, and that is absolutely fine. Now, one thing, oh Jesus, that I've been playing around with the setup coming into this, just trying to get the best setup we can now. So Tsunoda could just finally get out of the way, that'd be great. I have come into it a little bit blind with one setup change that I thought was a no-brainer to work. I was kind of stuck between two setups. because I did the first session on the default setup by mistake, and it actually didn't feel too bad. So I was kind of trying to get the best of both things. And in the end, I think I just about got there, but the last thing I changed, which was the rear anti-sway bar, yeah, well, I'm hoping that I haven't made a mistake. Tsunoda just needs to get out of the way here. Come on, Yuki. I mean, it should be fine. We should be able to get out of the session anyway. We'll probably need something in the 27s. Tsunoda, mate, you are pissing me off at this point. Let's see if we've got it. I want to just pass him and stuff up his lap. That'll be good enough. 26.6. So despite being massively held up by Tsunoda, we worked comfortably through in the end. Now, we do have a new on-track rival for the start of the season. It is this man, Daniel Ricciardo. I had to pick him. It was him, the two Red Bull drivers, and Hamilton, I think. So we went for the Aussie rivalry. Those that have dropped out, though, it's the usual suspects, the Williams, the Haas, and the Alfa Romeos. Let's get into Q2. Now, given the tyres degrade very quickly, we're going to try and get through on the mediums. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to, though. Alright, so here we go. On the mediums, our first run. Now, I'm going to have to absolutely nail the lap if it's going to come off for us. So let's hope I can do that. I'm not convinced we're going to be quick enough, though. Oh, a little bit deep. And that is sort of a mistake that I don't think is going to be allowed on these particular tyres. Come on. Yeah, it's not quite clean enough, is it? We'll finish it just to give ourselves a target lap to chase, but I mean, they're doing 125s. I'm assuming on the soft. So obviously we need to be in the 26s at least. I think if we have a look, I mean, the cars that are sort of at the end of the top 10, so sort of the Ferraris, Alpines, we'd have to be ahead of them on their soft tyres for this to even have a chance of working. It's a 26. We're fifth. Giovinazzi's in front of us, though. Yeah, so you can see here that Giovinazzi's in front of us in 10th, and then it's a big step up there. So we're going to have to go again on the softs. Alright, so here we go on the soft tyre. Now, I don't know if I explained it properly about the tyre wear. When I did my race sim in FP3, I think it was, the soft tyres were absolutely not gone, but they were really degrading quickly after 5 laps. And of course, Bahrain is notoriously a little bit of a tyre eater, isn't it? So I thought maybe starting on the mediums, we might be able to go deeper and then get on the fresh softs, and everybody else is on wearing mediums, but hasn't quite worked out like that. But anyway, I need to make sure we get this lap in now.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
And we are half a second up here, so that should be okay. We should be able to. Oh, we're a second up. Be nice to try and get close to GASLY, not be a second away from him. I mean, that's a little bit of a kick to the ego to be that far behind. Actually, a second's nice. He's a second and a half ahead of me. A little bit of a shortcut. Just misjudged that a little bit. I actually don't think, I think it's probably slowed me down, but obviously we have taken a bit of a shortcut there. So we're 1.6, 1.7. We might get to a sneaky 1.8. Not quite. Oh, P1! Have some of that Pierre. It's not gone yet.
That was the fastest lap.
So I got to within 6/10 of him, so that's an improvement. We're 1-2, which is obviously nice, but Pierre just looks like he's in a complete class of his own, doesn't he? Alright, here we go on our first run in Q3. In terms of difficulty, I left it where it was, again on the 78. I was tempted to go up to the 80, but I feel like I'm racing roughly where the car should be. And it's just that, Pierre Gasly is absolutely smashing it. But if I put the AI level up, that's just going to mean he's further in front of us, and we'll still be racing roughly where we should be with the car. Well, actually, we probably wouldn't. We'd be a little bit further back than where we should be with the car. So, let me know if you disagree with that. I think we're having fun, aren't we, competing for podiums right now? Which would be a lot more difficult to impossible if I raised the difficulty up, I think. I mean, it would still be fun, obviously, even if I'm racing for, you know, 10th, if it's good racing, but it's always a little bit nicer to be up the front, isn't it? See if we can stay on the actual designated racetrack. I messed that up a little bit. Just took a little bit too much speed into it. Let's see what we can do if we can get this last corner. I went a little deep. Come on, head down. Go on. Let me get 24. We can. A 24.999. I think we could say just sneaking into the 24s. Gasly has gone fastest. He's still in a class of his own. We're going to go again. Fresh set of tyres. And let's see if we can... well, could we dare dream of getting ahead of him and putting a bit of pressure on him for his last run? I'm actually right there with him in the first and third sectors. I think I actually was purple in the first sector, which I don't think I'm going to be this time, because you were a little bit off. And there was nothing in it. There was like thousandths of a second between us in the final sector. It's this middle sector here where he is absolutely pulling my pants down. And I'm not going any quicker. Oh, I hit that nicely. I've hit that beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. Come on. A little bit of a slide is going to cost us. Alright, we are up. One corner to go. What I don't want to do is go too deep, and I want to be right on the limit. I think I just about managed that. Are we going to get ahead of him? Oh, it's not enough. So we got close in the end, just a quarter of a second away. It looks as though it's picked up where it left off last season. AVR and Mercedes at the front of the field. Red Bull, McLaren are all there as well. So, I mean, Gasly looks good, doesn't he? Let's hope we can can we get him off the start line and maybe hold him off for the win? Let's find out.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Pierre Gasly lines up on pole position and Oldtimer completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Sergio Perez and Ricciardo, Verstappen, Leclerc, Tsunoda and Lando Norris, Stroll, Sainz, Fernando Alonso and Giovinazzi, Ocon, Lundgaard, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Joe, Schwartzman and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Alright, so we have a front row start. I'm really excited to see what our cars look like on track. We don't really have any room to move on the strategy because obviously, you know, Q3 we're tied in with the tyres we had in Q2. So we come in lap 6, it looks like. I won't be changing it like we did last year and then messing everything up with Gasly and ourselves. So, yeah, the tyres are going to be pretty knackered by the time we get to lap 6 by the looks of things, aren't they? Alright, let's see if we can start the season off with a 1-2. Hopefully, I'll be the one. Alright, so here we go for the opening round of Season 4. The cars look good on the grid, don't they all? Aussie Villain front row. What sort of a start do we get? A poor one compared to Gasly, a poor one compared to Bottas, and suddenly we look like we might be going backwards here. Can we lunge into turn 1 and not hit the back of Pierre? That was almost disastrous. We do sneak up the inside of Bottas, though, help him a little bit wide. I don't know if we deserved a warning for that, but I did go maybe a little bit too deep. And, well, we find ourselves in front of the rest of the field as Pierre... Wow, Pierre's got a nice little head start on everybody there, hasn't he? I get the feeling that GASLY might just run away with this year's championship. The car's good. He is just way, way better than I am. It's like Mercedes back when Hamilton and Rosberg first were starting to dominate, except it'd be like if it was like Hamilton and Mazepin, I think, somehow, because I am just nowhere near as good as Pierre Gasly in this car. But there we go.
Pierre's quick, Jeff.
As I make that observation. I do have to apologise, when I was recording the replay, I forgot to put the tower on. So we don't, when we're on the outboard camera, be able to see sort of how the rest of the field is shaping up. Let's just assume that Gasly's off in the distance somewhere, and then when we go back on board we can see it's the two Mercedes and the two Red Bulls behind us, and then a McLaren. I would imagine that would be the McLaren of Ricciardo. I think he was further up the grid than Norris, wasn't he? But we come a little bit of a worrisome exit off the edge of end of the last... sorry, to come on to start the second lap and last corner, that's what I was trying to say. And yeah, well, we can see Gasly 2.5 seconds he's pulled out on the first lap. We've got about a second on Hamilton. If we can keep that sort of at that level, because obviously DRS will come into effect at the end of this lap, and we want to try and make sure that we are clear of DRS if we can at all help it, and then allow those behind us to sort of scrap around with each other with DRS battles, and then we can hopefully just sort of put our head down. And I doubt we can catch Pierre, but hopefully we can sort of go with him away from the field. But not the best taking of that corner. And we have, well, we don't have to worry about getting out of DRS, we have to worry about staying in second right now. As again, go a little bit deep, and that's opened the door for Hamilton. Now we'll get the better exit with the wider line, but we find ourselves under big, big pressure. We're on the battery. I'm sure Hamilton is as well. He's looking down the inside. Surely he can't go through there. He's had a lunge, and he has spun. And let's have a look at it from the outboard. He had no business being there. We left him a little bit of room, and, well, he just... I think he did that to himself, didn't he?
Green flag.
And, well, we come back on board down the back straight, coming up towards the final corner. And Mazepin is out. We've got a virtual safety car. Mazepin, I can tell you...
MFD for a new strategy option.
I can tell you Mazepin sort of ran into the collision there. Hamilton blocked the track, and it was just a bit of a cluster F.
Alright, we're taking a big risk here. We're pitting. It'll be a cheap pit stop. We'll put the mediums on, and hopefully we can go to the end.
Complete, go now.
And maybe get the better of Gasly. I'm not convinced I've done the right thing, though. It was a snap decision.
But what you can see there is that it is now a full safety car, which makes it even better for us. We'll skip ahead now to the safety car restart. And you can see we're tucked up behind Nicholas Latifi there. We have Bottas behind us, though I'm not sure if Bottas stopped. I think he may have. But let's have a look at this restart here as we get a good run on Latifi. And we just need to make sure that we're not doing anything silly. No need to lose front wings or do any damage, because none of those in front of us have stopped. We are the first of the cars that have stopped. There's another yellow flag behind us. We give Giovinazzi a little bit of room, and we just can't quite get the double overtake done. But we should be able to get the better of him here, albeit on his soft tyres. Now, of course, the one thing that safety car has done is we were coming in lap 6 anyway, which is this lap. So it means that the medium tyres won't actually, they'll be going one lap further than they otherwise would have. But we've gained a pit stop basically for nothing. I mean, Gasly's probably going to be, what, 5-6 seconds up the road from us at the end of this lap. So, you know, that's roughly what we've lost. It might be more than that, actually. He's already out of sight. But, yeah, I mean, so it's worked out okay. If it had been a virtual safety car, well, what I was basically trying to do is take the cheap pit stop and hope that that would be enough to see me sort of leapfrog Gasly. But I mean, the full safety car coming out after I'd made the decision to come in, that was just a big bonus. You can see Gasly's down the end of this straight. They just caught him there in that long shot. He's already around the corner, so he's probably the best part of 7 seconds in front of us. So you can see he's done a 27 there, essentially a 27 flat, and we're going to do a 30. So he's got 3 seconds on us, plus field spread. As we come up behind Science, what I don't want to do is lunge. I really don't want to damage the car. I want to try and keep the tyres as fresh as possible as well, because we are going to come out in the front of this race. We're going to be leading this race. It's just a matter of really by how much and the condition of the tyres, if they're going to be worn enough that Gasly can come out and run us down. So it's a bit of a weird one. I don't want to let him get, if he gets 10 seconds up the road, he's only got 10 seconds or so to catch us with 7-8 laps. He might be able to do that. He is on a normal lap probably about a second faster than me, and he'll have the fresher tyres as well, so maybe even a little bit more than that. So yeah, it's a tricky one, but it looks like Ocon is currently holding up Science, but the tyres are in pretty good nick, considering. Oh, we go a little bit deep there, and that's going to cost us time. We can stay within DRS. The DRS should be available at the end of this lap, shouldn't it? That'll be 2 laps since the safety car came in. We can get a good run out of this corner. No, and Gasly's come in the pits, so this is it. Pit stop. Science is coming in the pits, and I think this is going to leave us second. It is going to leave us second. So Gasly's behind us. Can we see him in the pits, just pulling into the pit crew there as we won that long shot? So he's gone the furthest way down the pit stop. So are we going to see him come out in the background? No. So we've probably got at least 10 seconds on him. We've got Ocon in front now. Now he is surely going to have to pit soon. He would have started on those soft tyres, and they will be relatively second-hand at this point. Again, don't want to lunge, don't want to lose my front wing. Oh, and just got to be a little bit careful on the gas. You can see the rear tyres are going faster than the front ones, and that's just those acceleration zones. Again, just going a little bit too deep. I think I'm trying to be... Oh, we've got another safety car.
That the safety car is out.
Another safety car. Now, I don't actually know what happened. This is the only thing that I could find, and it was Guan Yu Zhou. You can see I've managed to put the tower on there like a moron, but he just spun it by himself and then just kind of parked it. There goes Gasly past. And that was the only thing I could find that could have triggered a safety car.
Is coming in this lap. We'll be pacing the field in sector 3. Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car is in the pit lane.
I don't think I've ever done a restart before, Jeff.
So we have control of the field. Now my plan was to go now, and you can see I've tried to do that, but the game's actually stopped me until the safety car is literally in the pit lane there. So we'll live and learn. I had never had to take a restart before.
So you literally have to wait till he's in the pit lane. Excellent. Would have been useful information beforehand.
I mean, to be fair to Jeff, he did say wait until the safety car's in the pit lane. I just kind of misspoke. I just thought I knew better, obviously. But we've got Perez all over us with that sort of false start that has not put us in a good position to Perez. But what it has done, of course, a second safety car. These tyres will be absolutely fine.
Track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
I mean, a third safety car would just about have seen the race finish. Oh, we've gone deep. I just need to not stuff up and almost a massive tank slapper.
Tyres are cold.
And yeah, once again under the safety car, I failed to keep the tyres in a temperature window. I was weaving. I don't know. I was doing what everybody else was doing, and apparently I wasn't doing it well enough. But this part of the track here, it should get the long radius corners left and right, should get temperature into the tyres, and then we'll be good on that front. And I mean, qualifying showed that we should, with the exception of Gasly, have the fastest car. So if we just sort of focus forward, we might be in a position here, having taken a bit of a gamble on the first what we thought was a virtual safety car. It's all sort of come up Aussie Villain, and with 3 laps to go, we find ourselves leading the first Grand Prix of the season. Got a second gap now, so there will be a DRS at the end of this race for, it'll be what, so 2 laps, lap 13 and 14 will have DRS. So if we can get that second gap out, then we won't at least have the threat of that. I think, can we see GASLY in the background there, perhaps? Let me know what you think of the new livery. Oh, we've got a purple first sector. That's nice. Of the new livery on track. I know that there was a comment that the previous livery looked a little bit like the McLaren, I think it was, from a distance. So hopefully this is a little bit distinctive compared to the other cars. I think it looks okay. The silver's a nice little... I almost went with gold as well, because since we were the Constructors champions, but decided against it.
Going for fastest lap, Jeff.
So let's see if we can nick GASLY's fastest lap off of him. Now, he did set it on soft tyres at the start of the race, but of course, he would have had a heavier fuel load, and it does make a difference, the fuel load. And our tyres are in decent nick. Now, I'm assuming GASLY is stuck in traffic as well, given that he came into pits and is going to be stuck behind, obviously, in the safety car queue. He's going to go way too deep, trying to maximise our lap time. And if we get the fastest lap here, no, I went 1.6 seconds faster than my best, and it still wasn't enough to get fastest lap off GASLY. And well, we're not going to be doing fastest lap this lap, and we were very close to sending that around. Can we see GASLY? We can see GASLY in the background there. He was sort of at the back of this first little lead group. I think he was behind a Red Bull. So he's got to be 6, 7, 8 cars back. So, I mean, if we're looking at it from a Drivers' Championship point of view, this might be a decent enough start to the season for me. I mean, I know I said that it's all about the Constructors' Championship. That's only because I thought GASLY was going to run away with the drivers. So, I mean, obviously, if there's a chance of me being in the Drivers' Championship, another poor exit. And there is GASLY at the back there, you can see, behind one of the Red Bulls. So how many cars back? They might be 7th he's in. We've got Perez right behind us, and of course this time last year it was the other way around. It was me running down Perez, if you remember, to try and win the race. But of course on that occasion I had royally stuffed up and put myself behind Perez. So hopefully we might be able to vanquish those demons. Oh, again, too deep.
Well, we really struggled to stop in that last corner.
I don't know if I'm braking too late. I don't know what the issue is.
Final lap of the race.
But anyway, it's the final lap of the race. We have, what's his face? Perez in DRS range. Easy on the gas this time. We don't want to almost loop it again. This is, of course, a DRS zone coming up here. So we get on the battery. And Perez is far enough back that he's not going to be making any moves on us into this corner, even if he does have DRS. Now, of course, this sort of middle sector is where I do struggle compared to everybody else, seemingly. I just need to be smooth, try not to stuff it up, don't overcook things into the brake zones, don't get on the gas too aggressively. That looked decent, didn't it? And this is really the last corner that I could throw it away in. And not too bad at all. So unless something goes horribly wrong now, this is a DRS zone, of course, here, but Perez is too far back, and we see from Hamilton, you just can't overtake there unless there's a massive tyre advantage. And, well, I don't see where Perez is going to get us. As long as we don't make any mistakes. Nicely into the apex, accelerate nicely. Just went to the inside a little bit there to try and break the toe, but he's so far back it's not going to matter. Final corner. We brake early, we don't go flying off into the desert, and that is that.
Whoa, yeah! That's how you start the season, boys!
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
A show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
great start. Great start to the season for me. I couldn't have asked for a better start, obviously. And, well, you know, it was nice to banish the demons that were still here from last season as well. And, you know, I'm just hoping I haven't used up too much of my luck. That double safety car certainly helped out. Well, it was a bit of a risky strategy from me in hindsight, but we'll take it and run. And nice to see Pierre down the order a little bit as well. Gives me a nice early advantage over him. So there we go, massive amounts of luck that virtual safety car turned into a safety car. The second safety car then basically meant the tyres were never going to run out. So I'd say more good luck than good management, but yeah, I mean, going for fastest lap, I was way off it in the end. I shouldn't have bothered. But yeah, that almost cost me. But we had Perez relatively under control. We can see the rest of the top 10 there. I don't know what happened with the Hamilton incident. Maybe I squeezed him a little bit too far, but I thought he didn't really have any business being there, but I'll watch the replay back. Now, this does start to beg the question of what do we do with difficulty level as well. The issue is that if we could turn Pierre down, and then I could turn everybody else up, but if I turn everybody else up, I mean, no one's getting anywhere near GASLY. So, let me know what you think. I mean, we kind of race with everybody else, don't we? And it's just GASLY is light years ahead. Yeah, so anyway, let me know what you think of what we should be doing there. It looks like Hamilton, Alonso, and Mazepin. So Hamilton, he must have crashed out. I'll go back and watch the replay anyway. I have no idea what's happened at this point. But a perfect start to the season for us. If we go and have a look at the standings, there we are there, nicely on top ahead of Perez and Ricciardo as well. And the Constructors standings, it could have been better. A 1-2 for the team would have obviously been a better result if it had just been a clean race. You imagine that's how it would have finished up. But anyway, we are miles ahead of Mercedes as well. They score nothing in the first round, and that has got to be a bit of a surprise. But there we go. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up and, of course, subscribe if you're new. We take an early lead in the Daniel Ricciardo rivalry, so that is good. Next race is China, I believe, the second round of the championship. A track I didn't do great. I think I came 9th there last season. So it'll be interesting to see how we go on sort of 12 months later. Yeah, it will be interesting to see how we go. As I've said a few times now, let me know what you think about difficulty level. We're the same as we were last season with, I think it's 78 is what the AI is set to. If we go up to 80, it boosts it up from, say, hard to very hard or whatever it is. So, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that. Almost 10 million in the bank. We need to make sure we have the 11 million to keep GASLY around mid-season. But I will be back next time. I will see you in China. Take care.